I'm in Unit 329, and there have been the clicking of guns of gang members in the allegedly empty janitor's room. Sorry, I have this board here. I sleep on boards. I have a bad back, so I sleep on a mattress and then on boards. And I don't keep much in this room because gang members have entered the whole, I think the whole Washington, if not the U.S., is infested by just gang members, zombie morons. And one of the gang members insisted that they were all going to come in. And he stated that from one of the apartments, most likely on the left-hand side. So you can sort of figure out who's home by which apartments are open, the windows, which windows are open. It's an easy way to reconstruct, who's shouting what. So they're threatening home entry, and the gang members, I owed them, and I know that they have machete plans, and I've expressed that earlier. So it was Randy and the rest of the gang had they've had drive-by plots before, including on bikes, and that includes Catowitz from Elizabeth Gregory home. So what I'd like to see is not just, let's say Randy Whittier, let's say if she gets violent, or one of the other morons from Gregory home, let's say Daphne, big fat ass, talks with a baby voice, she looks like a boxer, female hair, long hair, dark hair, and she has light. Randy has a ties. Busted. I'd like these buildings that are, well, to see, actually, my dream would be is all of Washington State rounded up pretty much and just put behind walls, like, how people are making conspiracy theories and they're trying to blame the government. Well, I say round them up. And start with the black Nazis and rounding up. And one of the horse said, "We are in charge." So you need to round up the black first. You also need to round up anyone black Nazis, which I've explained, whites, and because there's a tremendous money trail. We have Planet of the Apes money trail. Will get a lot of property and feel pretty exclusive if there are a limited number of whites and others. And believe me, the whites and others that are the black Nazis are as they should be. And there's a reason for it, and I've expressed why, but I believe everybody fell with Satan 13 years ago. Nazis and other morons such as white crack whores or any kind of crack whores, and just basically the way we're given all the advantages. All you had to be was black. You could be somebody who plopped out children every year, and you'd have more advantages. And they give quite a few advantages to people of drug. They'll hide insanity, which is quite dangerous for our society, and it has been. So if you can imagine, it's perfectly sane and reasonable, rational, that it's a psychotic mental patient, but they hide it. Oh, she's fine. She's just, when she stops drinking, she'll be fine. Okay. So then they've been involved in medical records, causing damage, and maybe even spawning different identities. So, and committing worse crimes than that, killing off real people, substituting them. For what? For someone who might start rounding up the black Nazis, and I say not only round up the black Nazis, like I keep saying, round up those whites that went with it, and say, well, they're black Nazis. Just throw them all together, and then you can't go about racism. They just targeted people. It's like something I would do. Well, if so do then is tape all their white friends or this guy in court trying to say, oh yeah, she just targeted black people. So you've got all these other people chained to him, like so deficient. It could be loud noises, loud music, and sound effects rather as well. So people get the idea. Perhaps if you presented it in the form of a dangerous video game, perhaps people would get the idea that they weren't just picking on black people. So then you start in Asian street gang member, you round him up, and ultimately is a zombie gang member. It's a fine idea. I think it's beautiful. I have various reasons for it, including the fall with Satan, that they basically tried, they destroyed the spirit world, if you believe it or not. So anyway, I have many reasons. So I will check in periodically during the night. The night is almost over. It's 11:36 p.m. here, October 29th. I mislabeled it. October 29th. October 23rd. The threatened to sacrifice me. I keep announcing 28th, isn't it funny? My prescient, well, yes, but I guess I was off in the date. If you're as threatened as I am, you would be too. I've been threatened with murder, rape, full identity theft the last 13 years. Also torture, including acid thrown in the face, threats. Been, actually sprinkled. So my face is cut up. Members have basically trade the thing, including cops, and not working. It's gang member activity. It's illegal. Portraying them as bounty hunters, scientists, anything to kid and then present themselves as the good guys. More on gang members tried to call me. That is actually the first mark. I'm going to put this first. People who call me Satan. Mark. Note 29th, not 28 for Saturday. I called it. Anyway. Obviously, is Sunday. Sunday is a day where I'm very much threatened by actually a rule fate, and one of the favorite times or days or dates. They like holidays. The Satanists do, and Sunday, for obvious reasons, because they're profane, they're blasphemous, and they like to think about sacrificing people and animals and other beings on. And if you believe in chakra theft, etc., they've just torn chest chakra. They have their own aura chakras. They don't have their own are Satanists. And I'm in a funny mood. I just feel very feisty, even though there's a rain falling through the floor, according to the gang members. Actually, not as crazy as it sounds. The gang members, the last 13 years, by the way, I get my information by gang members' threats, taunts, and what I hear or see, and also it's an oblong too. Like I have black Nazis and the other I didn't say that, it's just loudly. It's because the sound is like a speaker box. Now I'm here. I've lived here about 3 years. Have been listening, and it started with a dirty cop from Tricourt Apartments, and he was a security guard. He might be now. I think it is he and somebody near to seeing a cop is like, let's say they like to do, and they present it as like, they'll present the victim as the perpetrator, the whole thing that needs to make a snuff video or torture video, Might even be when you're unconscious. And I know years ago, I would wake up quite actual fights. It was actual fights. So many people might think of a demon hurt me in sleep kind of thing, which I believe is too. Of course, I hate them, and I love God. I believe that so-called sleep, like things or kidnappings by quote aliens or government. It's not government. It's not aliens. It's not a government plot. It could be a gang member with in a whole huge neighborhood, a little large corridor along Aurora, and stretching down or to the U District. There actually you could have hundreds of thousands of bloods. Really, I could make a terrible sort of joke. The place is bloods. You like that? The place is dripping with bloods. I don't know what I could say about the Zetas, the Alphas. How about that? Now, I might anger drug cartels in Mexico or whatever, or Guatemala or something. I'm actually not. These are Americans. Some of them are college immigrants, some are supposed ancestry. So anyway, and down Asian, I think it's race. Some have actually told me people that were, and as they used to call it, international district, actually. And there were a lot of Seattle, since it's a port town. So it was quite interesting of the underground in the international district. It's quite an interesting place, but I've met two I would consider very, and I believe I was poisoned, drugged, went to left it stupidly thinking, oh yeah, I'm safe. I wasn't. And that was at Elizabeth Gregory Home. Hard gang. I liked it. It has great shopping, by the way. I had it as one time a link on Facebook. I've deserted my grew, placed in eventually during some of my travails with gang members. Pretty nice apartment about a group there as well, precinct. But all the there's been some talking, and they're weird. Excuse me, I have to curse them. And he'd said it, maybe a couple of things and acted. I didn't. If you believe these, like a Z network and Z, maybe that was someone just said somnolent, and they all they're hypnotized. But anyway, my body, and I'm about 5'7", he's about 6'3", and so I just words Wolverine were used over and over, and then getting because I'm older, I had little gray streaks in my hair, so I felt like one of those. But short man syndrome, I'll call it. Why? It's because it's sort of like you lose track. It's not like you're losing your identity, but you just sort of drop the fantasy. And I've had to anyway, since you tend not to worry about, I have to wear makeup the apartment, and I have to drag junk. So when it enters my apartment, they're not touching. And you don't want to leave any food. The gang members are very in your water, such as urine, feces, menstrual blood, semen, menstrual blood in the form of gruesome, but they with disease or infect you, and the disease are they played polio, Ebola to hospitals, toxic substances in the other ones. He bragged that they'd been recalled. So these bums are into, let's discuss this, or just, I'm going to discuss it. So they're into murder, rape, identity mutilation, including FGM, amputation. They're in on operations to reduce one's function, or just shoving a pin into somebody's head, and they will threaten you, or perhaps something, they call it that. Rape and murder, and then so what the witness says against the victim, and he is just a, and any investigation might be actually. So it's sort of just it's a scam. So in any human rights cases, because that involve color in the U.S., I no longer believe anyone. I've had black Nazism, even Asian Nazism, when it had significance, such as hearing about hostile black Nazis actually after Europe, then you to dislike people. When you are worried absolutely about history and these people got in with Satan and the world, they should not have done, and they destroy, and they're trying to his lost state. Some cultures would be dirt. This is the truth. In the 70s or 60s, goals, vulvas, making them is that they complain, and that's rights. Consider, of course, Western civilization would be nothing without Greeks. Just with the curses. So Irish and Welsh have that. Oh no, you can't have plaid. Oh no, you can't say that. I'm sorry, you can't speak English. To English, actually, so absolute dirt. It would be grandiose to think that they would be nobility, even in ancient Egypt. That would have been rather, and a lot of so-called Egyptians would have actually been working the farms, and if they did even have a moment's notice for slip the Silas, one slip of the people would have been. Remember, most of this path of they might have their scrambled in the fire. Doesn't that sound yummy? Just brought to us. And there is a strong anti-Semitic nature of